Hey there, Capricorn. So this is a 5-minute forecast, slightly different to the usual ones. In this one, I want to deal more with the context and the meat and the bones of what you've been really going through over the last, well, since the start of this year, and kind of reset a little bit as to how you might want to go forwards. So if you know, in this month ahead, we've got the solstice, and the solstice point is in the opposite sign to yours. So like you're born in the sign of Capricorn, and we have the winter solstice. In the northern hemisphere, it's the summer solstice for the people down in Australia, but the solstice that we're having in June is the opposite one. It's the one in Cancer. So this is quite an important shift point for you. It's kind of like a half-year review for you, and really I want to comment more on the outer planets. You know, if you want more of the nitty-gritty, go into the June folder or the June playlist of the Feel Good Astrology channel, and you'll find some more information for you. Anyway, Pluto is the main headline, I would say, and also Saturn. So you know, your ruling planet, which is Saturn, changed signs in March, and then Pluto, the planet that been in your sign for 15 years or so, has shifted into the next sign along. It's now about to go back into your sign. And so there's some really big shifts there. So the first big shift that we're observing is the one in terms of your identity. Over the last 15 years or so, you've been working on who you really are, understanding your body, understanding your personal image, and really getting a sense of the direction. So it's been, it would have been, there would have been lots of ups and downs for sure, because whenever Pluto goes through the first house, it shifts a lot. And it is about being okay with being known, being okay with being in your body, and not having a fear of that. Now Pluto's position in terms of relative to you is very much about sustainability, having the right resources to survive, being able to thrive, and also the value that you're putting into the world takes on a whole new meaning. Now from March, that has really come on, and what I really see over in particular this next month is that the learning from March to June has been, okay, yeah, so I've been building resources all my life. Now I need to do a bit of a shift, and I would like to somehow show more value. Not entirely sure how to do that. And so it feels like as you're shifting back, there's some more questions about who you are. So it's almost like you're going back into an identity crisis. Like, who am I? Where am I going? What am I doing? How do I know this is real? All these really big sort of themes. At the same time, you've also had Saturn, your ruling planet, move into the sign of Pisces. Now, that's also in the third house, and it's making you have much more serious conversations. So it feels like there's a lot more serious conversations going on. And how can you have more influence when you're sharing important information? Where is the information, and how can you be more serious within your community? How can you give back? So there's a lot of stuff about giving back. There's a lot of stuff about adding value. And one of your key skill sets in terms of being able to see the things that lots of people refuse to see, and that you have the patience and the determination to unpack it and explore it. I really think there's a lot that you can do within your community. There's a lot that you can do specifically to create more regularity and a better quality within the community. So I think that's pretty important. Now, in this month ahead, we've got the new moon and the full moon. So the full moon's in your 12th house. That's on the 4th. That's likely to jumble you up a little bit and remind you of some kind of slightly painful situations, and it helps you realize that you're not quite as far along as you might think. You know, there are still some things that trip you up, but by the time you come to the new moon on the 18th, it's a reminder actually that you have got everything in place, and that it's okay to have a little wobble, and that you're ready to move on. And so what I see from the 21st, when the sun goes into the sign of Cancer, you're ready to relate to people in a way that befits your experience, befits who you are now. And it's almost like you're wrapping up the idea of who am I, what am I giving, what am I doing in this community, and you are the complete package. So I really think from the 21st, things are starting to feel really good. There's a lot more communication with other people in a way that over the last couple of months you've maybe pulled back a little bit. So I see you getting back out there with your information sharing. And then I actually think as June progresses, as Venus and Mars come together in your 8th house, there's this a feeling that there's real change that's possible. So I think this is a really sort of interesting time for you. And if you can continue to be excited by the change that you're helping to create, the difference, the very big difference that you're helping to create, I think the rest of the year is going to be phenomenal. So anyway, there you go, Capricorn. I hope that's useful. Lots of love to you. Have a great